Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Ann Seymour and Myron McCormick. Brought to you by the makers of Carter's Little Liver Pills, the best friend to your sunny disposition.
Good evening, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the Inner Sanctum. This is Raymond, your host, teller of strange tales. Come in, if you dare. Now, before we begin, a word to those of you who don't frighten easily. It'll be no disgrace if before we're finished you find yourself trembling against your will.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries takes great pleasure in presenting two of America's best-known and best-loved radio artists, Miss Ann Seymour and Mr. Myron McCormick. Tonight, these two favorites of the air lanes co-star in The Man from Yesterday, an original radio mystery drama by Milton Geiger, brought to you by the makers of Carter's Little Liver Pills, the laxative with the two-way action. For over 60 years, everybody has known that the name Carter's Little Liver Pills means gentle and efficient help whenever a laxative is needed. Yes, and they know, too, that Carter's Little Liver Pills bring added relief by waking up the flow of a very important digestive juice. So take advantage of this two-way action and ask for Carter's Little Liver Pills.
Do you like to have your hair stand on end? Do you like to feel your blood run cold? Of course you do. Come along with me, then, to the jungle. Still and hot, weirdly yellow in the strange light of the tropic moon. In a clearing, the African natives of Dr. Robert Rand's museum party sway to the slow throb of their drums. A few hundred yards off in the thick bush, a monstrous humpbacked shape drops silently from the trees, moves swiftly across the shadowed jungle floor. Suddenly the earth gives way under the dark, crouching monster's feet. He struggles wildly a moment and falls, disappearing into the earth.
Ran. Quick, come quick. Ngagi, come quick.
Eh? What's up, Sangala?
Is something wrong, Sangala?
Wana, you come fast. Bring big gun.
Oh, what is it?
Ngagi.
Gorilla? Where?
Old man gorilla. He fall in trap.
Oh, you shouldn't go, Bob. You're feverish.
Where is he? Where is the gorilla?
Sangala show you. Bring big gun. You follow me.
Can you see him down there, Bob?
And I see him. What a fellow. What a prize he'd be for Professor Converse at the museum. A full-grown gorilla. Ruth, we've got to get this fellow home, alive.
Oh, Bob, it's dangerous. You're ill. Must you?
Converse would never forgive me if I didn't.
Bob,
What is it?
the gorilla hasn't made a sound for some time now.
That's right. Turn the flashlight on there, will you, Ruth? That's very strange.
Is he hurt?
No. But look at him. See how he stares up at me.
Yes. And such steady, knowing, intelligent eyes. Almost human.
Yes. Gazing so steadily into my own. Unflinching. Unafraid. And puzzled. As though he's seen me before. As though he recognizes me. And is trying to remember me from somewhere. Sometime. All right. Easy, man. All the way.
Ah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Nerve-wracking, moving a great ape from where he obviously belongs to where he obviously doesn't.
All right, hold it, man. Hold it. Keep the cage from swinging as it comes down to deck level. Ready up. All right. Lower away. Easy there now. All right. Good. That does it, man. Now cast away the lowering chains and begin closing the hatch. We'll be right up.
I'm tired, Bob.
A little. But it's a relief to have Ngaji safely stowed away down here.
Ngaji. It's a musical name, isn't it?
It means gorilla. Well, nothing to do but keep him safe in his cage, keep him from catching cold, and feed him wild carrots and parsley. If it were for anyone but Professor Converse, I'd chuck it all right now. Sorry I started it. I don't like him, Ngaji.
Oh, he's a gentleman and a scholar.
Don't talk playful nonsense about him, Ruth. He's a killer.
He is not. I happen to know.
What do you mean you happen to know? Have you been around his cage again lately?
Well, I've been teaching him a few simple tricks, if that's what you mean.
What do you call a simple trick?
Well, for example, shaking hands with a lady.
Ruth, you haven't.
I have, and is my arm torn from its socket? It is not.
Ruth, don't you understand? You can't make friends with a gorilla. You can't compromise with the jungle. Ngaji is clever and he's dangerous. He'll watch with those beady little eyes of his. He'll wait with that tricky little brain of his. Until his time comes. Now, don't give him his chance, Ruth.
Oh, you're not well, Bob. And so you magnify the dangers and the menace of the jungle and all that bookish stuff. All out of proportion to... Well, what's the matter?
Look at him. He's been watching me all the time. You see how he stares at me? Never batting an eye. Never moving a hair. Watching me. Matching my gaze, stare for stare.
Oh, come out of it, Bob.
Been like this from the moment we captured him. Ruth, that abysmal brute knows something.
Darling, this stuff the ship's hold is getting you. Let's go and feed some quinine, huh?
Very well.
What'll I do with Ngaji back home?
That's Professor Converse's problem, and he's welcome. Up the ladder with you.
All right, men. Batten it down.
Bye-bye, Ngaji. So long, old man. Be good. No, Ngaji. The other hand. That's it. That's it. Ah, good fellow. Now, the other hand. Take my left hand now. The left. That's it. Oh, careful now. Don't squeeze so hard. Hey, Butch, take it easy. No. Mustn't pull it. Stop pulling, do you hear? Ngaji. That's better. Now let go of the lady's hand. That's it. Now then, how about some exercise? Think you could walk around the hold here with a distinguished dame on your arm? Yeah, let's see how this chain and iron pin work on this door. They think you can't be trained, but I know you can. Oh, this is easy. Oh, have this iron pin up in just a minute. Oh, just be patient, old fellow. Oh, here it comes. Oh. Well, better luck next time.
Ruth, you down there? Ruth!
Coming, Bob. We're just having a word with Ngaji.
Well, hurry. We've got little old New York on our horizon, and I'm quite glad.
very kind of you, Professor Converse, putting Ruth and me up at the museum like this.
Not at all. A plenty of room. Besides, I want to keep an eye on that fever of yours, because you won't.
Well, nevertheless, Professor, we won't impose on your hospitality a moment more than it takes us to get settled again here in America.
Here. Here's another door. After you, Rand.
Thank you.
This old wing is out of use, but it still has electricity. And what's more important, heat. Till the zoo can build proper quarters for Engadji, we'd better keep him in here where the temperature is even.
I've been thinking, Professor. These oak doors wouldn't be any problem at all to Engadji if he happened to get on the loose.
True. The door closing off this old wing from the new building is really made of iron.
I see.
So, unless your gorilla is of the armor-piercing variety, it's pretty safe. Here's next to the last door. This used to be our dinosaur room.
It's a huge room.
Well, here we are. Royal Suite itself.
Ruth, what are you doing in here?
I'm talking to Engadji. Hello, Professor.
I shouldn't become too familiar with Engadji, Mrs. Rand.
Oh, he's quite gentle. You know what he does now? He takes the rings off my fingers and then gives them back.
Takes the rings off your fingers. Ruth, come on, let's get out of here.
All right. You're rougher than a 500-pound ape. He's a real gentleman.
Look at him. Look how he presses his face between the bars. To get a closer look at me. And it's been like that since... By George, I'll give him a good look at
Don't
me.
get too close, Rand. Now, careful.
Well, he doesn't know you well, Bob. Bob!
There, you ugly brute. Take a look. Take a good, long look. Well, what do you see? All right, he missed me.
Could have shattered your skull with that blow, Rand.
Well, it's only because he doesn't know you, Bob.
He does know me. He looked into my face, and he saw something. What did he see?
What do you think he saw? Well, I'm no fortune teller. I'm only Raymond, your host here in the inner sanctum. But I can tell you he must have seen something. But what was it? That's the big question. Yes, and when that logy, dull, sluggish feeling tells us that a laxative may be needed, the big question is, what laxative will do you the most good? Lots of folks have answered the question successfully by taking Carter's Little Liver Pills. Why? Because Carter's Little Liver Pills offer help in these two effective ways. One, they help relieve irregularity in an efficient, thorough, yet gentle manner. Two, usually within a half hour after taking them, Carter's Little Liver Pills wake up the flow of a very important digestive juice. It's this vital juice that helps tone up a lazy, sluggish digestive system so that folks can lose their grouch and feel better. You better keep that in mind, friends. And next time, remember Carter's Little Liver Pills. The laxative that helps in more ways than one. All right. Do you still want to know what the man from yesterday saw when he looked into Rand's face? You'll be sorry, but you asked for it. So let's go into Engadji's cage with him now, as he listens to a strange, mysterious voice.
Engadji, Lord of the Jungle, do you hear me? Do you hear, Engadji? Do you hear the jungle speak?
Engadji. I am Engadji.
I am the jungle.
Jungle.
You looked into the man-creature's pale eyes. Do you remember now? Do you remember that other Engadji 1,000 million moons ago, before the pale man-creature walked the earth?
Man. More. Wait.
Do you remember, Engadji?
Remember.
You fought with him in the jungle, fought for the beautiful she. He conquered. How you hated him.
Hey.
He was mighty, and he was different from the others. When the others swept through the trees, that other one ran, swift as the wind, on the ground. Remember.
Remember. Hey.
You fought, and you died. That other one who was different stood triumphant in the clearing, his neck half bitten through, victorious. He who would one day be a man.
Man.
Your conqueror then. Your captor now.
Hate, man.
Where is your strength, O Ingaji? That this same other one conquers you again, as he did 1,000 million moons ago.
I am strong. I am Ingaji.
Yet the weak one wins. Here.
Come in, Rand. Come in.
Oh, good evening, Professor. So you know it was me.
Of course. Well,
That's exactly why I'm here, Professor. It's getting to be a habit around here. There's a knocking. It must be that feverish fool Rand.
come now. We want you here.
There's such a thing as wearing out your welcome.
You paid 1,000 times by bringing us back that magnificent gorilla.
I don't consider that adequate compensation. Professor, I might as well tell you. I'm sorry I ever blundered over the brute.
He's just getting you again. Go to bed and take some...
No. I'm afraid of him, Gadget. Not in the physical sense. I could cope with his power, his force. But he's changed. I can't cope with what he's become. It infuriates and humiliates me that gorilla has something on me. Has me at some disadvantage that I don't understand. It's gotten under my skin. You remember when he struck at me 3 weeks ago?
Do I remember? Of course I do.
He changed after that. When he looks at me now, he isn't puzzled. He isn't searching his memory for some clue to me anymore. He knows. He knows who I am and what I mean to him. Whatever it is, he hates me. Hates me with a dreadful, consuming energy.
I don't question that, Rand. It's plain enough.
Have you hear? He never had those tempers. Now something is tormenting him into a frenzy of hatred and defiance. Something in that secret brain of his.
You'd better calm him down before he dashes out that secret brain of his. Come on, Rand. We'll talk later. Did you say was afraid of whom?
He's quiet, yes. But look at those eyes. Where have you seen such hatred?
Or such tremendous living power?
Yes. You've got to admire it at first. You almost think for a moment that he represents the super race. That big, black-haired, purebred gorillas are the dominating people. And on the basis of sheer power with a certain amount of intelligence and ruthlessness, you think he ought to rule. Then you stop to think. You remember. Yes, he's pure black gorilla and powerful. But after all, he's just a gorilla.
Oh, I thought I heard him guard you fighting in here.
Well, you did. Your precious beast was having a tantrum. He'd catch cold running about barefooted like that, and that wouldn't do. Because Ingaji might catch it from you, and that would be the end of Ingaji. On second thought, perhaps you'd better run around barefooted.
But, Bob, he's worth a fortune.
Well, so are you. Now run along back to bed. Professor Converse and I have a chess game to play. Hey, Professor?
Gadget. Hi, old fella. How about your banana? Here. No, I haven't got any more. What? Oh, my hand. Which one? This? Oh, the left. Sure, pal. Take it easy, though. It breaks. That's a good boy. Oh, no. No, Daddy. Give me back the rings. Come on. Hand over the jewels. I'll pick them up, Ngaji. Ngaji! All right. I'll get them myself. But you won't hear the end of it. I'll show you. You've eaten your last banana for a month, and don't you forget it. Ngaji! What's the matter? Why don't you know me? Ngaji, stay back! Stay back!
Your move, Professor. Hey, Scott, the fruit. There's a light in the wing. Look.
He's loose. The fruit's loose.
Wait a minute, Rand. Here. Take my revolver. I'll come along.
Never mind. Stay here. Call for help. I can't hold him with just a revolver. Hurry!
Bob, help me, Bob. Help me.
Ruth, what happened? Are you hurt?
That's my ankle. I unlocked the cage. He opened the door
darling, that's all right.
I could just get in here and bar the door before he realized he was me.
Can you walk, darling?
No. I ran to the door, but I hurt my foot. What? I can't stand, Bob.
Put your arm around my shoulder. Hurry.
He's breaking through.
I let him escape. I let him.
That's it, darling. Now hold tight.
But you're yourself. You can't carry me too, Bob.
Hobble on one foot now.
Up. Oh.
Come on now. All right, darling, quick. The next room. Quick, in here. Now, the next room. We've got to hold him off, blow him up. Come on, Ruth. Courage, darling,
I
courage.
can't. I'm holding you back. Oh, leave me. Leave me with a gun. I can shoot. Please. Please. No.
In here. I'll try it. I got him. Quick now, before he recovers.
Bob, you can't go on with me.
Just one more door. The last door. All right. Can't strike iron. Keep moving. Try to help. Can you?
I'm trying.
A little further. Just a little further. Here.
Oh, Bob. What's the matter?
Ruth. Lock. From outside, it's automatic.
Bob, but the professor.
I don't know. He's gone for help.
Oh.
Steady, girl. Steady.
Oh, the lights. They hit the fuse box. You shut out the lights.
Listen.
He's dead. I got the shot in the face. He's dead.
Quiet. Oh, he's alive. He's stalking us in the dark.
How many bullets?
3.
Bob, one more for Ngaji, and it don't kill him.
Quiet. This way. Keep moving.
Now, Bob. He's against the window. Bob, the moon. The moon's coming out. Find us.
We'll see him, too. And I've got 2 shots left. Perhaps.
The moon. He sees us.
Friend, where are you? Friend! Fight your light over here, Professor. Friend. Oh, thank heaven.
You all right? Did you? Oh, by George. You did.
Point blank range. My last 2 shots. Yes.
In truth?
She's a broken ankle. She's fainted. She'll be all right, though. Oh. Well, Professor?
It's the end of Waringachi, eh?
Is it, Professor?
You're certainly dead.
Again.
Again?
Have you ever had the feeling that something that has just happened before, Somewhere. A long time ago?
A very familiar psychological phenomenon. What about it?
I feel that all this happened before.
When?
And that it will happen again. I only wonder when. And where. And who will be the victor. Then.
Yeah, let me look at you. Oh, yes. You're hurt. There are the marks of teeth on your neck.
An unusual birthmark. It's occurred in my family for generations. Shows up when we become excited. Is it strange, Professor?
All right, friends. You can come out from under your table. Everything's all right now. Ngaji is dead, and we're safe for another 10,000 years.
Good.
Oh, Mr. Hurley, Ngaji was only imaginary, so don't let him worry you.
Oh, you're right, Raymond. Especially when real things can be so much more troublesome.
You mean things like an irritable, sour, out-of-sorts feeling that so often warns us a laxative is needed?
Yes, and that's why folks have been taking Carter's Little Liver Pills for years. They know the name stands for dependable, gentle relief. Yes, and besides, folks know that usually within a half hour, Carter's Little Liver Pills will wake up the flow of a very essential digestive juice. This juice is all important to normal, proper digestion. So why don't you take advantage of this time-tested two-way action and ask for Carter's Little Liver Pills?
Well, friends, it's time to close that squeaking door to the inner sanctum until the same time next week. Invite all your friends to be here with you. It'll give you courage. There's safety in numbers. Well, next week, our ghost artist, pardon me, guest artist, comes with the highest credentials. He was on the horror roll at Spirit School. Fine student. And for anyone who'd like a snap course in exciting mystery reading, let me suggest this month's Inner Sanctum novel, The Murder of a Novelist, by Sally Wood. It's on sale at your favorite bookstore. Now, friends, here's an urgent, serious thought. Remember the Red Cross. It needs your help now more than ever. And also remember you are giving both for Christmas and for America. And your presents are United States defense bonds and stamps. Buy all you can afford today. Well, good night. Pleasant dreams, huh?
Attention, armchair detectives. One way to solve a puzzling case is to keep your eyes and ears open. What valuable tip would you get from this conversation?
I ought to have been home 2 hours ago.
Got to get this order out, Tom. It's important.
But I've stayed 3 nights this week.
Well, so's everyone else. Come on, Tom. These days, grousing's out.
But you fellas don't feel as sunk and low down and out of sorts as I have lately.
I can't afford to. There's too much work to be done. So when you get the feeling slowed up and sluggish, why not do something about it?
Yeah? What do you suggest?
Try Carter's Little Liver Pills.
Right. And when you don't feel good, try Carter's Little Liver Pills. They do the work of calomel, but have no calomel in them. For they are simple pills made of vegetable drugs. They wake up the flow of one of our most vital digestive juices. When this vital juice flows at the rate of about 2 pints a day, it helps to digest our food and bring back the glorious feeling that goes with regularity. Then most folks feel like happy days are here again. But be sure you get the genuine Carter's Little Liver Pills. 25 cents at all drugstores.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Good evening, friends. Welcome again to the Inner Sanctum. I'm Raymond, your host. Come in, won't you, and sit down? Well, very nice to see so many of you here. people who believe in black magic, haunting, and ghosts? Huh? Oh, you don't believe in them? Well, our story tonight is about some sailors who didn't believe in them either. But it didn't take them very long to find out that such things did exist, that they were wrong, dead wrong.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries brings you one of Broadway's and radio's best-known stars, Arthur Vinton. Tonight, Mr. Vinton appears as Captain Bates in Dead Reckoning, an original radio drama by Robert Newman. When you have that all-in, down-and-out feeling, you may be a victim of irregularity. Then you can help restore your usual pep and vigor by taking one or two Carter's Little Liver Pills with a glass of water when you go to bed tonight. Carter's Little Liver Pills help you feel better by providing remarkable two-way relief. Relief you cannot expect from a simple laxative alone. Here's what happens. First, Carter's Little Liver Pills wake up the flow of a vital digestive juice, and they do this usually within 30 minutes after taking. Second, they help restore regularity. It's this two-way relief that works so fast and so differently to help you feel up on your toes again. So don't go on feeling way below par when you can get this kind of relief with Carter's Little Liver Pills. Get a box from your druggist now, only 25 cents.
And now I think we're ready. Ready to begin as weird and eerie a tale as ever made a sailor wish he'd never seen salt water. A story of something that came out of the fog to drag men to death in watery graves. So, if your nerves are good and you're not afraid of nightmares, then turn down the lights and listen to Dead Reckoning. The great banks which lie off our eastern seaboard are perilous waters, shrouded throughout most of the year by heavy fog. Slipping through the thick gray pall, its foghorn wailing like a lost soul, is a small tramp steamer. It is late afternoon. There are two men on the bridge. Suddenly, the door of the wheelhouse opens. Afternoon, Mr. Ross.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Weather still is pretty dirty, eh?
That's thicker than ever.
You got lookouts posted?
That's one man on the bow and one aloft.
Good. I've been sailing these waters for 20 years, and I'm never really happy till I'm off the bank.
I know, sir. Guess it's the fog. Never knowing what's ahead of you. What's likely to come out of it.
Something's ahead, sir. Just off the port bow. What? Where?
There it is, a schooner. It's almost dead ahead.
Put your helm over hard.
Hard over it, sir. He's still coming. There, we're just clear astern.
Another half minute, we'd have cut her in two. Ahoy, you lubbers! What the thunder's the matter with you? Why aren't you sounding a foghorn? Something does seem to be the matter, sir. There's no one at the wheel. Yes, you're right. No one at the wheel, no one on deck, and... Look there. A distress signal. We'd better look into this. Half speed astern.
Half speed astern, sir.
Half speed astern.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. She looks to me as if she's been abandoned. Maybe you'd better lower a boat, Mr. Ross.
There is someone aboard it, sir. Look, just coming up from below.
Great Scott, he's dived overboard. He's swimming this way. Up forward, Mr. Ross, and heave him a line. And when you get him on board, bring him up here.
Aye, aye. There he is, Captain. Kind of rocky. Got banged up a bit before we can haul him on board. Take it easy there.
I'm all right. Listen, Captain. Get away from here fast. Get away? What about the schooner you jumped off? The rest of the crew? Dead. Every last man. Dead? I'm the only one left alive. Dead of what? That thing got them. One after another. That gray thing from the sea. If I hadn't locked myself in the galley, it would have... What are you talking about? Oh, I'm sure you'd better lower a boat. Take a look, see, Mr. Ross.
Aye, aye, sir.
No. No, you fools. Don't you realize that it's still there? On the schooner. He wanted to follow you back here, kill you off one by one, too. Don't you realize?
Oh, here, catch him on. I've got him.
Good. All right, inside here to my cabin. All right. Put him in on my bunk, yes, sir. There we are. Poor devil. Pretty well shot. Think he's out of his head, sir? I don't know. It might be all imagination. On the other hand, we should investigate. I'll take a boat over and see what I can see. Get board, man. Let her run. Around the stern. Here's her name, sir. The Sea Spray. Grab that line. Make it fast, Gauss. Aye, aye, sir. That's the ticket. Now hold it steady, man, while Garson and I climb on board. You want me to come with you, sir? Two of us will be able to search her that much more quickly. What are you afraid of? I don't know, sir. I mean, sir. Come on. She still got all her sails set, sir. And everything's battened down, just as if there was nothing wrong. Ahoy, anybody about? Ahoy! Now let's go below. What's the need of that, sir? If there was anybody down there, wouldn't they answer? Suppose they're sick. Suppose it's the plague or something. Well, okay, sir. Everything's shipshape down here, too. Clothes, duffels, still under all the bunks? That must be the galley. Take a look in there, Garson. Nothing in here either. Hot still on the stove like the cook had just been fixing supper. Couldn't have been a fire, sir. No sign of it anywhere. Couldn't have been a leak. A crew taking her to the boat because they thought she was sinking. She's not riding as if she was waterlogged. Let's get out of here, sir. What's the hurry? What are you so jumpy about? Jumpy? Who's jumpy? It's just that... Well, suppose I am. A crew don't abandon ship out in the middle of the banks for no reason. No, that's true. They don't. I'd give plenty to know what that reason was. Well, okay, Garson, come on. Let's get back to the ship. Make sure the boat's in place and everything's stowed properly before we get on the way, man. Right, sir, we will. Oh, there you are, Mr. Ross. Well, what'd you find out? Nothing, sir. Nothing? Well, what do you mean? Just that, sir. We didn't find out a blessed thing. We looked over from stem to stern. Everything was shipshape. There didn't seem to be a single reason why they should have abandoned her. But there wasn't a soul on board. Strange. Mighty strange. Well, let's go inside and see if our friends come through yet. Yes, sir. He's trying to sit up. Oh, here, now let me help you. Yeah. Are you sure you're all right now? Yes, sir. Sorry I keeled over that way. I guess I was in worse shape than I thought I was. I'm sorry I told you like that. Oh, now, forget it. What's your name? Banning, sir. Joe Banning. Banning, eh? Excuse me, sir, but are we underway now? Started. Why? Well, it's the schooner we're away from. Then we're away from that cursed ship. I'll have here all day. You hadn't come along when you did. We'd have to spend one more night on board that ship. Easy, Banning, easy. There's nothing to worry about now. The war began 2 nights ago. We've been out on the bank. We're fishing. For about 3 weeks. We were just starting back to port when the water went funny. Funny? How? Turned salty and red. Red as blood. Blood? Corrosion in your tank. That's what we thought at the time. But that night, men started disappearing. Disappearing? Captain Bassett himself was the first. I left him at the wheel. I went below to get some grub. When we came back on deck, he was gone. Gone? Gone where? We didn't know. We put about, went back looking for him. We never found him. Stevens, the mate, took over and took the next trick at the wheel. When it was time to change watches,
We found that he was gone, too.
What are you getting at?
The truth. Well, we figured we could still make port even though we were short-handed. Anyway, we were pretty sure we'd be off the banks out of the fog belt by morning. So that if we flew a distress signal, it'd be seen. But in the morning, there was still fog all around us. It was like we couldn't get away from it. And another man was gone.
Now, look here, Pat. Just a second, Mr. Ross. Let him finish. And that's the way it went? One man after another disappearing with no way of telling where they'd gone or what had happened to them?
Not exactly, sir. 2 more men went that day. Another that night. That left only 2 of us, Ross and myself. We were near crazy by that time. Trying to stick together. But we had to have someone at the wheel and we had to weed it. I went down to the galley to get some hardtack. While I was down there, I heard Larson scream. I went back to the bridge. And there he was fighting with it.
With what?
But just it, I couldn't really see it. Larson let out that one yell. Then went backward over the rail. I stood there staring. And all of a sudden I felt something. Something soft and firm trying to take hold of me. I dived back down into the galley. Slammed the door.
Wait a minute. You mean...
I mean, something had come out of the fog and boarded the schooner. Something you couldn't see. It got all the rest of the crew, and if you hadn't come along when you did, it would have gotten me, too.
I see. How long has it been since you had anything to eat, Fanning? Since you had any real rest?
About 3 days.
Well, now, suppose you see the cook, have him give you something hot, and then go forward and get some sleep, eh? We'll talk about this again in the morning.
You don't believe me, sir, do you? You think I'm out of my head?
Oh, now, Fanning. You run along, and like I said, we'll talk about this some more tomorrow, eh?
Yes, sir.
You don't believe him, do you, sir? You mean you do? Oh, I don't know. But I won't be sorry when we get off the banks out of this fog tomorrow. Good morning, Captain. Morning, Mr. Ross. Well, good morning, Banning. So, you feel well enough today to stand a trick at the wheel, eh?
Yes, sir. I'm no deadhead. I don't mind working my passage.
Good, fine. Had breakfast yet, Mr. Ross? No, sir. The fog's still so thick, I thought I'd better stay on the bridge till you came topside. Funny thing, I thought we'd be clear of the banks by now. Me too. Well, I asked the cook to bring some coffee up here to us. And later on, if the weather starts clearing... set it down here, cook.
Aye, sir.
Anything the matter? What are you waiting for?
Just for you to try the coffee, sir.
Try it? What's wrong with it? What is wrong with it? It tastes terrible. What did you put in it?
I didn't put anything in it, sir. It's the water. It's gone funny.
Funny?
Turned kind of red and queer looking.
Captain, that's what happened on the sea spray just before...
Quiet, Banning. It's probably just rust, cook.
Is it, sir? Does rust taste salty?
I say it's rust. And I don't want you to mention this to the crew.
Very well, sir. So how are you going to keep him from finding it out for himself, sir? Oh, I almost forgot, sir. Boss asked me to give you this.
Oh, yes, the radio check on our position. Check it with the chart, will you, Mr. Ross?
Okay. Just finished taking the log reading and working it out on a... Great God. This doesn't make sense.
What doesn't?
Look here. Here's where I figured we should be. Clear of the bank.
Yeah?
And here's our radio position, still in the middle of the bank. Right where we were yesterday.
What? But that's impossible. We've done a good 200 miles since yesterday. Of course, that's just by dead reckoning.
Dead reckoning? That's just what it is.
Banning.
You fools, I warned you, but you didn't believe me. The water turning to frost, the ship sailing around and round in the fog, unable to get away. That's what happened on the sea spray. That's what's happening to us. Don't you realize what that means? That thing from the sea. It's here on board this ship.
So the thing from the sea,
thing that can't be seen that came out of the fog and dragged an entire crew to its doom has taken possession of another ship. Will the same thing that happened to the Sea Spray happen again? In just a moment, we'll find out. Meanwhile, don't sit back and envy the life of the party all that pep and ginger. You may suffer a headachy, sluggish feeling due to irregularity, but thousands of others do too. And many of them shake it off by taking Carter's Little Liver Pills. Try them tonight according to the directions on the package. Then tomorrow morning, see if you don't feel you can lick your weight in Wildcat. Here's the sound medical reason why Carter's Little Liver Pills are so effective. They can give you two-way relief for sluggishness, something you cannot expect from a simple laxative. First, Carter's Little Liver Pills wake up the flow of a vital digestive juice, and they start to do this usually within 30 minutes after taking. Second, they help restore regularity. It's this two-way relief that helps you feel better. Well, how are you feeling now? Have you had a chance to catch your breath? Wipe the cold perspiration off your brows? Oh, what you've heard so far hasn't bothered you, huh? Wait. Just a moment later now, and the 3 men are still on the bridge. Standing at the wheel, Ross and Captain Bates staring at him incredulously. I tell you, you're mad, Banning, out of your head.
So you still don't believe me, eh? Did the water turn into blood or not?
Of course it didn't. That's nonsense. It's just rust, corrosion in the tank.
And the fact that we're still in the same place you were yesterday after sailing for 24 hours?
Our figuring was just off, that's all. Dead reckoning's never completely accurate.
All right, Captain. That's the way you want it, fine. But I wonder what you're going to say when the men start disappearing.
Enough, Banning. Who else is on watch, Mr. Ross? Who's the lookout?
Liddy, sir.
I'll go get him. Tell him to come up here and take Banning's place at the wheel.
Aye, sir. Liddy, hi there. Hey.
Now, as for you, Banning, you'd better get back to your bunk and lie down. Yes, you're sick. Mr. Ross has never let you stand a watch.
Oh, I'm sick, am I? It's all my imagination. Okay, Captain. Let's say you're right about the water. Our position. What about the sea spray? What happened to my shipmates, the rest of the crew?
I don't know, and I can't worry about that right now. That's something for the Coast Guard to look into. But I'm not going to have you scaring the wits out of my crew. So if you say one more word about this to anyone...
All right, Captain. I won't. I've got a hunch I won't have to.
What do you mean?
Nothing except that...
Liddy's not there. He's gone.
Gone? Gone where?
I don't know. He reported here at 8 bells, went up to the bow to relieve Blake. That's the last anyone saw of him.
You don't think Ellie, the forecastle?
No, sir. He must have dropped off to sleep or something. Fallen overboard.
Fallen overboard. That's what we thought on the sea spray when Captain Bassett disappeared. But he didn't fall. He was dragged overboard by that thing.
Will you shut up, Banning?
I won't shut up. What can I say to make you believe me? I tell you it's here on board this ship, and it's going to get the rest of us one by one unless... There's only one thing to do. Take to the boat. Step right to the ship and abandon it.
What? Now I know you're mad. Get aboard and stay there.
All right, Captain. I'll go. But remember, I warned you. Anything that happens from now on is on your conscience.
Six bells and all's well. Keep where she goes, Carson. South southwest.
Aye, sir. South southwest.
Blasted fog. Still as thick as ever.
Can't see a ship's length ahead.
No, sir. Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
Shouldn't we be off the banks out of the fog by now?
I know, Carson. We evidently made a mistake in our reckoning. According to the radio compass bearing we got this morning, we're still around the middle of the banks. Won't be clear until tomorrow.
I see, sir.
Oh, by the way, Garson, what are the men saying about Liddy's disappearing that way?
Why, nothing, sir. Except...
Yes?
Well, sir, they can't understand how he could have fallen overboard with the sea so calm. And then there's this here business of the water turning funny. I see them kind of jumpy about that, too.
Yeah, well, what's that?
Sounds like a small craft fishing boat. Bessie is off the starboard, sailing parallel to us. A schooner.
Who's up at the bows? Look out.
Blake, sir.
Well, what's the matter with him? Is he asleep? Why didn't he sing out when he saw her?
I don't know, sir.
Captain Bates.
I thought I told you to stay below, Benning.
You did, but That's Gona. Do you recognize her?
Recognize her? She does look familiar. The great scarf. It's the sea spray. What? Can't be. We left it drifting a good 200 miles from here.
You only think you left her.
Besides, when we left her yesterday, she was deserted. But now, she gets down to the foghorn. There are men aboard her. You can see them.
Yes, men. But what kind of men? Look at them through your glass, Mr. Ross.
Just what I'm doing. Good Lord. Her faces. All green, bloated, swollen. Why, they look as if they were dead.
Look. They are dead. Drowned men come back out of the sea, sailing on and on through the fog, following us and waiting until...
One more word out of you, Banning, and I'll put you in irons. Give me that glass, Mr. Ross. Too late, sir. Sooner it's gone. Well, come on aboard with me and let's see what's wrong with Blake.
Yes. I'm coming too.
Me too. Now, what's that? You're on watch, guard. Let's stay at the wheel.
He'll stay on course. If anything has happened to Blake, I want to know it. And the rest of the crew will want to know it too.
Well, all right, then. Come on. I don't like this, sir. We may be in for trouble if Garson won't take orders. Yeah, I have a hunch we're all getting jumpy out of hand. It's all right. There's Blake leaning against the rail. Blake, look again.
It's not Blake. It's Smitty. And look at him, sir. He's dead. Springy wet and with seaweed in his hair. He was drowned, but he came back from the sea just like my mates on the sea spray.
Blast you, Banning.
I warned you, but you wouldn't listen. Now will you abandon ship, take to the boat?
Now, I've had enough of this. Enough of you and your warning. Grab him, Carson, Mr. Ross.
I won't go through it again. I can't. Having one man after another go over the side track to his captain. I'm going to sooner or later.
Banning, no!
He went overboard. Wait, that's it. If he'd rather commit suicide and stay on board this ship, we're not going to stay either. Come on, men. The boat. We're abandoning ship.
What? You can't do that.
Who's going to stop us?
We are quick, Mr. Ross. The guns in my cabin.
Guns, is it? Oh, no, you don't. Stay, men. I'll take the kill. Leave him there in the hatch. If this blasted ship means so much, we'll let him free on it. We'll take him to the boat.
Captain Bates. Oh, yeah. Why, what happened? Don't you remember? The men, after Banning jumped overboard, they went crazy. Sure. They swarmed all over us. How did they really go? Abandon ship? Every last man. We're all alone, just the two of us. Help me up, will you, Mr. Ross? I'm still a little shaky. Of course, sir. There you are. They didn't take the life raft, sir. We could probably get one of them over the side, and you mean you want to abandon ship, too? Well, not exactly, but after all, the two of us couldn't get her into port. Is that the reason, or is it because you're afraid? Because you're starting to believe in that thing from the sea also? About half and half, sir. I mean, well, after all, everything that's happened so far, finding the sea spray deserted, Smitty and Blake disappearing, then Smitty coming back, drowned. Very well, Mr. Ross. I'll help you launch your life raft, and if you like, you can go. But I'm staying with my ship. Well, in that case, I'll stay with you, sir. Good man. I kind of thought you would. What's our first move? Up to the radio room. We'll send out an SOS. Ask for help. Right, sir. Even if you do think there's some explanation for everything that's happened, the ship here is kind of spooky now, isn't it? Fog. Everything's quiet. Dead, like... What's that? The engine room telegraph. Someone running for half speed ahead. Why, we're moving, getting underway. But who? There's no one on board but the two of us. Maybe one of the engineers didn't go. Stay below. No one stayed, I tell you. No one. There's just the two of us on board and... Foghorn. So outside. I don't like this. You don't like it, Someone's coming. They're heading for the bridge. Can you see who or what? Yes. Banning. It can't be. He jumped overboard. overboard. He's dead. Yes, Smitty was dead, too, but he came back and... Where are you going? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to see if a corpse can fight back. Captain, wait, I don't... Look out, Captain, he's got a gun. I got it. Well, oh, you're not dead, Banning. And it was you that was behind all this. I don't know what you mean. Now, you listen to me, Banning. 2 of my men have been killed. The rest of them are out there in that fog someplace. Either you talk, tell me what you were up to, how you did it, or I'll let you have it right between the eyes. You wouldn't dare. Oh, I wouldn't, eh? Give me that gun, Ross.
No, don't.
All right, I'll tell you. It wasn't me that was behind it. Mr. Abnadine. Abnadine? Yes. He thought up this idea. Scaring a crew into abandoning ship and picking it up and claiming salvage. Salvage? Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that? How did it work? There wasn't anybody on the sea spray when I boarded her.
Of course not. As soon as we spotted you, Dean and the rest of the crew got into the dory, pulled away into the fog until after you searched the schooner. Meanwhile, I had 2 jobs to do. Climb into the binnacle to throw your compass off so you'd sail in a circle. And drop a chemical into the water tanks that would turn the water red. And what about Smitty and Blake? I killed him. I dropped Smitty's body over the side with a rope tied to it so I could haul it up again. Stiff Blake with the chain lock. Why, you cold-blooded murdering... What? Fog's on and it sounds like... It's the sea spray. They're cruising around waiting for me to pick them up. And there they are. Dead ahead. It's the wheelhouse, Ross. Hurry, we're heading straight for them. If we don't get off, we'll hit them. Please, run them down. Do you think?
Yes. I'm afraid so, Ben. The propellers must have gotten those that didn't go down with the schooner. But maybe it's better that way. They say that drowning's easier than hanging, as you'll probably find out for yourself. Yeah, what's that? You knew there was no such thing all the time? Of course you did. But just the same, if I were you, I wouldn't try to stand up just yet. With your knees knocking together like that, you might find it a bit difficult, huh? But I do hope you enjoyed tonight's story. That you'll be with us again next week at this same time. And if, in the meantime, you should happen to take an ocean trip, if while you're out you should run into heavy weather and while you're standing alone on the deck at night, something should reach out of the darkness and grab hold of you. But don't worry. It won't be the thing from the sea. It'll just be one of the other passengers trying to find his way to the rail. Oh, yes. If you hadn't done so, be sure to read this month's Inner Sanctum mystery, Footsteps Behind Her, by Mitchell Wilson. Will you wake up tomorrow morning feeling chipper and spry? Or will you crawl out of bed with that sluggish, headachy, what's-the-use feeling due to irregularity? Well, try this. Just before you go to bed tonight, take 1 or 2 Carter's Little Liver Pills with a glass of water. Then see if tomorrow morning isn't rosy and bright. See if your usual pep and cheerfulness aren't back. There's a sound medical reason why Carter's bring you these remarkable results. Carter's Little Liver Pills provide 2-way relief. Relief you cannot expect from a simple laxative alone. First, they wake up the flow of a vital digestive juice. And they start to do this usually within 30 minutes after taking. Second, they help restore regularity. It's this 2-way relief that helps you feel better so fast and so differently. Good night. Pleasant dreams, huh?
This is the Blue Network.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Miriam Hopkins. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host, Raymond, ready as always to provide you with your weekly ration of screams, gurgles, and blood. All in a spirit of gentle fun. I have no other object in mind, except to reduce you to sniveling wrecks of nerves and shudders. Have you got a white sheet handy? You might wrap it around yourself in case a ghost shows up. You'll think you're in the business and pass right on through you.
Now, Mr. Raymond, don't be so silly. You know there are no such things as ghosts.
Who said that? Oh, hello, Mary Bennett. So you don't believe in ghosts, huh? And, what's that standing behind you, huh?
Oh! Oh, you shouldn't have done that, frightening me that way. Shame on you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. Can I make amends?
Well, you might tell the folks how much you enjoy Lipton tea.
Oh, gladly. Friends, just the other day, a ghost and I were having a conversation about Lipton tea.
Now, here. Enough of that. Nobody is interested in what you and the ghost said about Lipton tea.
Oh.
No. Let's talk about real people and the solid pleasure they get from Lipton. They drink it at meal times. They serve it when friends drop in for a visit. And, of course, they often brew themselves a cup of Lipton's during the day. Just because it's so nice to relax and enjoy that famous brisk flavor. Oh, by the way, that word brisk, B-R-I-S-K, is one that tea experts use. Brisk means that Lipton's always tastes tangy and bracing. It's never flat or wishy-washy. Yes, you just don't know how good tea can be until you know how good Lipton's is.
Okay, Mary, suppose you go fry me a cup of tea. But keep the kitchen door open because you're about to hear the story of the Bog Oak Necklace. It's an original radio play by David Driscoll. And our heroine tonight is that beautiful star of stage and screen, Miss Miriam Hopkins, who'll play the role of Emily. Now, be calm. There's nobody standing behind you. At least nobody you can see. At the edge of a lake, in a small New England town, two men are busy digging an excavation.
Must have been like a cave around here once, huh?
Yeah, old Miss Bristow used to own this property before she sold it to this here city man who's building.
There used to be a fine apple orchard right up there. It was all fine trees once.
Well, let's dig. That's what we're getting paid for.
What's the matter with you, Paulie?
Look down there what I just hit with my shovel.
Huh? Oh, bone. Oh, some cow, I expect.
Cow? That ain't no cow bone, Jerry.
Hey, Paulie. Huh? Look at this with the bone.
Yeah, I see it. And you call it a cow bone now?
No, I don't.
This here must have been a graveyard once.
This here was never no graveyard. The river used to come right up to here almost before the big flood. Before they built the dam.
Hey, what are you doing?
Get your coat and hat.
You're bringing that with you?
Of course I am. Hat and this.
Yeah, but there must be a skull here, too.
Of course there must be. We don't have to look for that, Polly. That ain't our job. Come on.
Jerry and me was digging away there, Mr. Warren, down towards the river. And all of a sudden, Jerry kind of yelled. And when I asked him what's the matter, he shows me this leg bone. So I looks, and there's the skeleton right at his feet.
I see.
So I figure, you being the county attorney here, you're the man who ought to know first.
Yes. Now, this place by the river that you're talking about, it's the land that city man bought to build a home on?
Yeah, that's right. He bought it from old Miss Emily Bristow. And then we found this, too. Around the, well, I guess you'd call it the neck. That is, where the neck would be. Is there anything wrong, Mr. Warren?
Where did you say you found this bone and this necklace?
Well, Jerry and me is making a trench for a water pipe, and we're digging where the old riverbank used to be. Right near the river edge.
Leave the necklace with me. If I need any more help, I'll get in touch with you. That's all.
Yeah, yes, sir.
40 years. 40 years. Emily Bristow.
What do you want with me after 40 years, Andrew?
Look, Emily.
Well, these are old woman's eyes.
Look closer.
Take that away. Take it away.
The Bog Oak necklace, Emily. Do you remember? Presented to Miss Emily Bristow on her 24th birthday by Andrew Warren.
Where did you get it, Andrew?
It was found at the river edge on the property you've just sold.
Daisy. Daisy.
It's come back to us, Emily. After all these years. It's come back to us. The bark oak necklace. The necklace that meant the death of your sister, Daisy.
Oh, Andrew. Oh, Andrew, darling.
Daisy, there aren't two people anywhere as happy as we are.
Of course not. May I tell Emily?
Why, yes, I suppose so. After all, she's your sister. She should know. Good night, darling.
Look at that moon.
Smiling at you.
Oh. I'm going to close my eyes, and I won't open them until you're down the road out of sight.
Good night, sweetheart.
Oh. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Good night, moon. Oh, young ladies shouldn't stand staring at the moon that way. Oh, Emily. You frightened me so. Did I? You had a nice drive with Andrew in the moonlight, I hope. Mm-hmm. Emily. Andrew, yes. Andrew and I, we're... Oh, darling. How I ever stopped my heart from beating so? I can't. Let me say it for you. You're engaged. And there you are. It was easy, wasn't it? For you? You've no idea how easy it was for me.
Emily.
Right here.
Emily. I wanted to see you so badly.
She's already told me, Andrew.
Emily, I want you to understand about this. I know how this must hurt you.
You've got to break it off. You've got to. You can't marry her. Andrew, listen to me. Please. Please marry me. I beg you.
Emily, we must be sensible.
I beg you.
If you love me, Emily, you must let me do what I feel is right.
I can't let you marry Daisy. You're mine. I must have you. If not me, Andrew, no one. No one else at all.
It's too late now. Forgive me.
I'll never forgive you. And I'll never let you go.
Emily.
Never. 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 Emily? Emily, are you asleep? Go to bed, Daisy. Oh, Emily, don't be cross. I can't sleep. You can't sleep? No, I'm so excited. Why, Emily, you're still dressed, too. Oh, so I am. What's the matter, dear? Don't you feel well? Oh, I feel very well. Thank you, Daisy. Emily, what's the matter? Why do you use that tone with me? Oh, darling, you're not feeling well, are you? I can tell by the look on your face. Oh, come on. Come on out into the night. The moon is full, and let's walk up to the apple orchard. After all, Emily, even though we're going to be separated, it won't be forever. Aren't you afraid to be out here at night? Afraid? Afraid of what? We are at the end of the apple orchard. There's the little patch that goes down the river. I think you'd better go back now. I go back? Well, what'll you do? I'm going to stay here. I wouldn't dream of going back to the house alone. I thought you weren't afraid. All alone? Of course I'd be afraid all alone. Daisy, I don't want you to marry Andrew. Emily? Do you know what you've just said? Certainly. Why, Oh, Emily, I'm surprised at you. Well, you're jealous. That's right. I want you to write to Andrew and tell him that you've thought it over and that you've decided you don't love him and you're not going to marry him. How dare you speak to me that way? Now get out of my way. I'll never talk to you again as long as I live. Have you thought that you mayn't have very long to live? Emily! Emily, I'll scream. No, you won't scream. You won't scream at all. And do you know why? Down in that little pigeon heart of yours, you're frightened. Frightened? Let go of my arms. You're hurting me. You're out of your mind, Emily. I'll let you go when you promise to write that letter. I promised. I promised, Emily. Now let go of me. As soon as we get back. Yes.
And don't you dare breathe a word of this to anyone ever as long as you live.
I promise.
Now, I think we understand who loves Andrew. Yes. I'll let you go. You don't know how close you came. Come back here, Daisy. You'd run away, would you?
Emily! Emily, I wasn't running away. Please let me go. Oh, what are you doing with that necklace? Emily, no!
I knew I couldn't trust you. I knew I never should have told you.
No, Emily! You're joking me. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Oh.
Well, girls will be girls, I suppose. It's kind of pity about little Emily, though. Just think what a wonderful hangman she'd have made if she'd been born a girl. Kind of cute, huh? Being taken for a little swing by a girl.
What a terrible woman she is, Mr. Raymond.
Oh, now, listen, I like Emily. She's so inventive. Most women will do anything for a necklace, but only Emily knows what to do with a necklace.
Now, please. You know very well that the only thing you can do with a necklace is wear it.
Oh, yeah? Well, the only thing you can do with Lipton tea is drink it.
Well, what's wrong with that? And, Mr. Raymond, maybe you don't realize how often folks do drink Lipton tea. Why, it's the perfect beverage for so many occasions. And that's why it makes sense to have a good supply on hand, to buy the larger, more economical size packages. And it is more economical that way, too. Oh, yes. It's wise to have a large size package of Lipton tea on your shelf because that well-known brisk flavor, that bracing, full-bodied taste, makes Lipton's always welcome.
That gives me an idea. Maybe we should have had Emily and little Daisy talk out their quarrel over a cup of Lipton tea. Oh, man, that'd be chummy. But it's too late now. Daisy is stretched out on the ground with a bog oak necklace twisted tight around her neck. She's not sleeping now. She's just dead to the world. So, let's get back to our star, Miss Miriam Hopkins, who plays the role of Emily.
Daisy, get up. Get up this minute and stop teasing me. You're not hurt that bad, and you know you're not. Please get up, Daisy. You're frightening me. Daisy, you're acting just as though you were dead.
I am dead, Emily. You murdered me. You strangled me with the bog oak necklace.
You see, you wouldn't be talking to me if you were dead.
You've killed your own sister, Emily, because you were jealous.
That voice, that's Daisy's voice. But your lips are not moving. How can you be speaking to me, Daisy, when your lips are not moving?
They'll find me here in the orchard with your necklace around my neck. And they'll know you did it. And they'll punish you. You will never be allowed to marry Andrew.
I will marry him. I will. Oh, what am I saying? Who am I talking to? Somebody's speaking to me with Daisy's voice.
And all your life I'll be speaking to you. Just like this. Because you murdered me with the bog oak necklace.
I must do something. I must get some help. Somewhere I must get some help. She can't be dead. I just pulled the necklace a little bit, not tightly at all.
You pulled it very tightly, Emily. Look at my neck and you'll see. You'll see how tightly you twisted the necklace.
Stop it. Stop talking to me.
I'll never leave you, Emily. Never as long as you live.
You are dead, aren't you? I murdered you. Something dreadful will happen to me. I've got to do something. What can I do? The river. I'm near the river. Stones, yes. With twine. Strong twine wound around the stones, and I could tie the stones to her, and I could throw her into the water from the crag on the hill, and the stones would make her sink to the bottom, and then she'd never come back. Never. And who would know?
You know, Emily.
Maybe when I get back to her, she'll be moving and I'll talk to her. No, she is dead. She is... Oh, I'm running in the wrong direction. It was over there that I killed her. It couldn't have been because she's not there. She was right here. Daisy's gone. She got up and walked away somewhere. She's alive.
Emily. I found her, Emily. Strangled to death.
I know nothing about it.
What are you doing then with that twine in your hand? You wanted to tie stones to her, didn't you? Throw her in the river.
I killed her because I was jealous. You're as guilty as I am. Because you should have married me.
Yes, I am as guilty as you are. What will become of me now? All my hopes, my ambitions.
If we can get rid of the body, then we can get married after all. It'll only take a little while for people to forget him. Then we can go away somewhere. But you know...
I never want to look at you again as long as I live.
I know.
I hate you. Came back here to speak to you again. I wanted to tell you I'd done a wrong thing. That I ought to marry you. I wanted to arrange with you about Daisy. How we could tell her without hurting her too much. I was heading toward your window when I saw her. Strangled with a bog oak necklace.
What have you done with it?
Exactly what you planned to do. Because no woman would have the strength to do it. I had rope in my rowboat. I tied stones to the body. Rowed a bit into the river with it. Dropped it overboard. The plan works, you're safe. If it doesn't, you'll die. And I'll go to prison. I'm going now. The moon is down already. Soon it will be dawn.
The necklace. What did you do with the necklace?
I left it where it was. Around her neck.
That sound. The sound the necklace makes. I have heard it every night for 40 years. 40 years. Now she's come back to us. To me. Tell me, Andrew, where was it found?
She's been there, at the bottom of the river all this time.
Oh.
During the flood last year, the skeleton must have been swept into that old sewer. The twine probably rotted away a long time ago. That's the only explanation I can give.
Watching. Down there at the bottom of the river, watching.
I'm going now, Emily. It's probably the last time we'll ever see each other. I'll leave the necklace with you. It was to you I gave it 40 years ago.
Emily.
What's that?
What?
The voice. Her voice.
I'm going.
Don't leave me, Andrew. Don't leave me.
He'll leave us, Emily. He'll leave the two sisters alone. Together.
Andrew.
We're alone now, Emily. Just as we used to be. You and I and the necklace.
No.
Come, Emily, let's take a walk as we used to. In the old apple orchard.
No.
Come. It's getting dark.
No, I've not been near that orchard in 40 years.
Come, Emily. With me.
But I'm old.
No, you're young. As young as I am. Come with me. We'll tell each other little secrets, won't we, Emily? Just as we used to.
Yes.
The crickets will be chirping and the moon coming up. All as it used to be.
Yes.
And you'll be wearing your necklace. The bog oak necklace that Andrew gave you when he thought he loved you instead of me. You'll wear it the way you used to when you'd steal up there to the orchard to meet him. Remember? When he used to roll to the bottom of the hill and wait for you, and you could stand in the orchard until you heard him whistle.
Yes.
Emily.
Yes.
You've forgotten something.
Forgotten.
The necklace. The bog oak necklace.
Oh. I can't run as fast as I...
Come, Emily,
Used to.
come. He's waiting.
Yes.
Listen. Andrew's whistling for you. Answer it, dear. Go on.
I can't whistle. That's strange.
You must run faster, Emily, faster. Oh, you must run so much faster. Through the apple trees, bending beneath the branches. He may not wait. Listen. He's angry with you because you're keeping him waiting.
All out of breath. These apple trees. The branches, they're in my way. I can't bend over.
Faster. He may run off with Daisy.
No. I'm coming, Andrew. I'm coming. Wait for me, Andrew. Wait for...
Oh, that necklace. Emily, you caught it in a branch. Turn around, Emily. Turn around. And loosen it. Turn quickly, Emily. That's the way my voice sounded one night long ago. When I wore the bark oak necklace. When I, too, was strangled by the bark oak necklace. Come. It's so cool here in the river.
Daisy, Daisy, tell me your answer true. Who gets choked first, me or lovely you? If you'll be the first to strangle, I'd appreciate your angle. And when I learn that it's now my turn, I'll gargle as nice as you.
What awful words to sing to such a nice song.
Oh, but listen, I sing so well, and I can recite, too. Shall I recite you something suitable? Say a Mother Goose rhyme, huh?
Mr. Raymond, you don't know any Mother Goose.
Is that so? Well, I know one that you love. Listen. Polly, put the kettle on. Polly, put the kettle on. Polly, put the kettle on, and we'll all have tea.
Well, that's fine. Only I hope Polly makes sure that it's Lipton tea.
Naturally.
But I suppose there's little doubt that she'll use Lipton's. Because, after all, more people drink Lipton tea than any other brand. The reason for that is Lipton's famous brisk flavor. Yes, Lipton tea is never flat or insipid. It always tastes full-bodied and vigorous. And, well, I guess it's all summed up by that word brisk. Yes, folks, brisk is the word that the tea experts use when they talk about Lipton tea. So try it real soon, won't you?
They say... Of course, I just tell you what the gossip is in the morgues I visit. They say that Daisy and Emily can be seen almost any moonlit night. Skull gently touching skull, floating through the old apple orchard as of yore. If you'd like them in your...
Colgate Tooth Powder presents Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host, Raymond, inviting you in through the squeaking door. Well, it's so nice if you'd come here tonight and help me sit up with the corpse. Hey, such dull company, so cold and stiff, bored with being dead. All the life seems to have gone out of him. What? You say you've seen him before? Oh, no, he's not that horror man who plays in pictures. But he does look like him. So much so, in fact, you might even call him a dead ringer. Tonight's Inner Sanctum Mystery, Voice on the Wire, is an original radio drama by Robert Sloan and stars Miss Leslie Woods in the role of Geraldine Reeves. It's produced under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Use Colgate tooth powder. Keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it at night. Don't take a chance with your romance. Use Colgate tooth powder.
Romance. What is romance? Romance is the light on the path of love, but a light so delicate that even a breath may put it out. Even a breath. You'd hate that to happen to you, wouldn't you? Well, don't let a breath of trouble ruin your romance. Don't let unpleasing breath offend the one you love. I tell you what, brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate tooth powder. Because scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate tooth powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. And let me add, Colgate tooth powder is the only tooth powder that offers proof of this fact. And then, too, Colgate tooth powder cleans your teeth beautifully. No amount of money can buy you a dentifrice that will clean your teeth more quickly and thoroughly. Remember the name Colgate tooth powder, with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance. Use Colgate tooth powder.
No doubt the telephone is an ingenious invention, but as far as I know, no one as yet has been able to commit murder over it, although many people have wanted to. Still, there are worse things you can get on the phone than the wrong number, especially if you happen to call the voice on the wire. On a long, narrow island just off the shore of one of our larger lakes, Mrs. Geraldine Reeves, widow of the late composer David Reeves, lives alone in a gaunt, gray shingled house. Only a few hundred yards away are the charred remains of her former home, where David was burned to death in a fire just 2 years ago. It's after dinner now, and as the clock in the hall strikes 8.
Get home. You see, it starts every night about this time.
What starts?
The music. David's last composition. I hear it being played on a piano. And the notes seem to come from the old house, the house where David died in the fire.
Well, perhaps someone is playing that piece on the piano. Someone on the island.
No. No, there's only one other house out here, and those people are away. And the dog. The dog keeps howling all night long.
What dog?
I don't know. There's no dog on the island, but David and I did have a dog. You remember? He stayed with David the night of the fire. He died with him because David was too ill to get out of bed. There. There it is again.
It's amazing. That's a real dog. Somewhere on this island.
Oh. Do you think so?
Why, of course. Probably some stray got across the bridge or swam over from the shore.
Well, you see, Oh, excuse me, Doctor.
Certainly.
Hello?
Hello? Mrs. Geraldine Reeves.
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Listen.
Good heavens.
You have 4 hours to live, Mrs. Reeves. 4 hours to live.
What? What did you say? Hello? Hello?
What's the matter, Geraldine?
The music. The same music. I heard it again.
What?
Over the phone. Someone's playing it on the piano.
It must be some sort of a prank.
No. A man spoke to me. He said I have 4 hours to live.
4 hours to... Here. Let me have that phone.
No, it's no use. He's rung off.
Well, we might be able to trace the call. Hello. Operator. Operator.
Somebody's trying to kill me.
Hello, operator. Operator.
What's wrong, Doctor?
I I'm afraid the wires have been cut. We'd better get into my car and drive into town right away.
Yes. Yes, it isn't safe for me to stay here another minute.
Can't understand it. The motor won't turn over. Somebody must have meddled with this car while we were in the house.
Well, try my car, Doctor.
I think perhaps I'd better. Is it in the garage?
Yes, Great heavens, it's gone. The garage is empty. The car's been stolen.
Now, let's not lose our heads, Geraldine. We're not completely cut off yet. We can't use a car. We can still walk.
But it's almost a mile to the bridge, and the road is so dark down along the water.
It won't be too dark with a flashlight. We can go down through the woods to the edge of the water and walk along the shore.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
I just remembered. David's brother's driving out here tonight.
Harvey?
Yes, and his wife, Laura. They said they'd be here by 8:30, and if we wait for them, they can take us back in their car. What do you think, Doctor?
That's safer than trying to make it alone. If we wait right here, perhaps we can watch the bridge and see them coming. For heaven's sake, Geraldine. What are you staring at?
The bridge, Doctor. The bridge, look. This end of it's been washed out. Oh, Doctor, this is crazy, searching for a telephone wire in back of the house. If we're seen out here, there's no telling what might happen.
Please, Geraldine. We've got to find out where that wire was cut and splice it together again. It's our only chance of reaching the police.
But it's almost 9 o'clock. We've wasted an hour already. If I'm not out of here by 12...
Stop it, Geraldine. Stop it.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. What's that?
It's the dog again. That confounded dog is tied up around here somewhere.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant the light on the road. There's a strange light on the road.
The headlight of a car. Coming this way.
A car?
Yes. Quick. Behind the house and stay out of sight. It's turning into the driveway.
How could a car have come out onto the island with that bridge out?
Shh. They're getting out.
Oh, why, it's Harvey and Laura.
Good heavens.
Oh, Harvey!
Hello?
Harvey! Oh, Harvey.
Pete's sake.
Oh.
Jerry, what are you doing? Playing hide and seek with us back there?
Oh, Harvey, I'm so glad you've come.
Jerry, what's the matter?
Oh, everything. But first you've got to tell us how you got here.
Why, we just drove over the bridge and on up the road the way we always do.
But how could you drive over the bridge? It's been washed out.
What?
Well, I saw it with my own eyes, and Dr. Pricing saw it too, didn't you, Doctor?
I certainly did.
Oh, you must be mistaken. We drove over the bridge not more than 2 minutes ago.
Are you sure you haven't been on the island longer than that?
Well, I'm positive. Why?
Well, some very strange things have been happening here tonight. Geraldine's life was threatened. Her car stolen, and mine tampered with.
What?
What are you talking about?
Look, I'll show you. The starter in my car won't even turn the motor over. Here. By George. It's working now.
Say, what is this, Jerry? Have you and the doctor been taking a few pills? Did you drink too much wine at dinner?
Oh, no. Everything he said is true. Even the telephone wires have been... I must be going out of my mind. That is my telephone ringing, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Aren't you going to answer it?
Well, I'm almost afraid to. Come with me, Harvey, will you, while I do?
Sure.
Hello?
Hello. Mrs. Reeves?
Yes?
Listen. It's 9 o'clock, Mrs. Reeves. You have 3 hours to live.
I can't stand this waiting, this endless waiting. Why don't the police come?
Easy now, Jerry. They'll be here. You only phoned them a few minutes ago.
Something can happen before they get here.
I have a gun ready, just in case anything should happen. And I won't hesitate to use it.
You have a gun, Doctor?
Why, yes. Geraldine gave it to me before you arrived.
Oh.
What's the matter? You trust me with a gun, don't you?
Why, of course.
Laura,
What is it?
A face at the window. I just saw a face at the window.
Laura, please, you're letting your imagination run away with you.
No, I saw it right there. It was the face of a dead man.
Quick, Harvey. Out the back way.
Right.
No, please don't leave us.
We'll be right outside the window.
Jerry, I'm afraid.
Well, there's nothing we can do, Laura. They won't be far away.
But I don't trust Dr. Prizing. You never should have given him that gun.
Why not?
Because I think he's a murderer.
Laura!
Yes. Don't you remember how he acted at the trial? When you were accused of starting the fire that killed David? But he testified against you time and again. Subtly. To make them think you did it. Because he started that fire himself.
What on earth are you saying?
I'm telling you the truth. During the trial, he swore that he wasn't on the island the night of the fire. But he was. And I can prove it.
How?
By this cigarette case of his. Here, look at it. You see how it's charred and melted on the side where his initials were? He must have left it in the fire that night, by mistake.
But he couldn't have. The police searched everything the next morning. They would have found it in the ashes.
Not if it wasn't there. He came back for it that same night, as soon as he missed it, and dragged it out of the fire. He knew it would incriminate him if it were found in his possession, so he threw it into the lake as he drove home over the bridge. And that's where we found it, in the water. The last time we were out here.
Oh, Laura, I hope you're wrong.
So do I. But if I'm right, we're all in for...
Laura! The lights! Somebody's cut off the lights!
Laura! Laura, where are you? Carry the door! Coming through the door, it's the face I saw! Laura! Laura!
It was meant to be me, Harvey. Whoever came through that door intended to kill me.
Jerry, please. How is Laura, Doctor?
I'm afraid I can't do anything for her, Harvey. She's passed on.
Oh. Laura, darling.
You'd better not touch the body, Harvey.
Oh, leave me alone. You've done enough already, Dr. Prizing.
I beg your pardon?
You'll have a lot of explaining to do when the police arrive, Doctor. I'll tell them how you ran away from me out there before the lights went out, and how you were here in this room when they went on again.
Harvey, don't say things you'll regret later on.
Just a moment. Where is the cigarette case Laura had in her hand when the lights went out?
What cigarette case?
You know the one I mean, Dr. Prizing. The gold one that was charred in the fire.
I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
I have. And if you're as innocent as you claim to be, you won't mind being searched.
Not at all. Go right ahead.
I will.
Whom are you calling, Geraldine?
The police. Can't understand why they haven't arrived yet. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Maybe something's happened to them on the way. Maybe their car broke down.
Their car, too?
Huh?
Nothing. Only it seems as if your car is the only one that works when you want it to.
Headquarters.
Oh, Sergeant. Sergeant, I can't understand why your men aren't here yet. A murder's been committed.
Do you think you've been calling the police department all this time, Mrs. Reeves?
Dave, it's music.
It's 10 o'clock, Mrs. Reeves. You have 2 more hours.
Jerry, are you in your room?
Yes, Harvey. What is it?
This is our chance, Jerry. We've got to run away from Dr. Prizing now, while we're alone.
Yes, of course, Harvey, but how will we go?
In my car. It's just... Wait a minute. Listen.
What is it?
It sounds like footsteps in the living room. Prizing must be in there.
No, I saw him go outside. He said he wanted to see if he could find the dog.
Oh, there's someone in there. I'm going to find out who it is.
Be careful, Harvey. He may be standing just outside the door.
Yeah. All right. You stay behind me.
Is anybody there? Is anybody in the living room?
No. There doesn't seem to
Don't
be.
overlook me, Harvey.
Well, Dr. Prizing, you've been standing at this door with your ear to the keyhole?
No, not exactly.
I thought you were supposed to be outside, looking for that dog.
I was outside for a while. But I saw someone moving around in here, so I came back. When I got here, your wife's body was gone.
What?
Gone? Laura's body is gone?
I assume that it's gone. It's not where it was on the floor.
But how could it... Look here, Pricey. You were alone in this room.
And so were you. After I left. Wasn't it, Geraldine?
Well, yes, now that I think back, he was.
Certainly. What's more, Geraldine saw me leave the house. And when I left, the body was still here. After that, I don't know what happened.
What are you driving at?
Draw your own conclusions. I've drawn mine.
Why, you...
Harvey, stop it! Stop it!
I'm sorry, Jerry. I just...
The dog again.
I can't understand why you didn't find that dog, Dr. Pricing. He must be right out there where the old house used to be.
Well, if you think you can find him, why don't you go? Good heavens, man.
What?
Look. There's a fire burning out there.
On the grounds of the old house.
Pricing, you started that fire yourself, and you're burning Laura's body in it to cover up your crime.
Harvey, where are you going?
I'm going to the fire, Jerry. I've got to stop it. I've got to put it out.
I'm going to lose my mind if someone doesn't stop these awful things from happening. Won't anybody help us?
Easy, Geraldine. The man who hopes to kill you was trying to break you down first. It's part of his plan. Here. Take a sip of this brandy. It'll help you.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing, really. I just don't care for any brandy just now.
What's wrong with it?
Well, I didn't say anything was wrong with it. I just don't...
You fool. Do you think I'm trying to poison you?
I don't know what to think.
Here. Give me that brandy. I'll drink it myself. There. Believe me now?
I don't believe anyone.
Listen to me, Geraldine. I'm the best friend you have in the world right now. You've got to understand that. Because there isn't much more time. We've got to get away from Harvey while he's still out there.
What do you mean?
Can't you see? He's trying to kill you.
That's a lie.
It isn't, Geraldine. Harvey's the one that's lied to us. He and Laura both. They intended to kill you when the lights went out. But in the darkness, Harvey made a fatal mistake. He thought it was you he was strangling, not Laura.
I won't believe
that. It's the truth. They never drove across that bridge at 9 o'clock tonight. They've been here on the island all evening.
How do you know?
Because we saw that bridge with our own eyes. And I saw it again just 5 minutes ago. It's still down.
You're lying.
Come out and see it for yourself.
You're just trying to get me out of this house.
Stop being such a fool. Here. Take this gun. If it'll give you any security, take it. And hold it in my back while we're out there. But for heaven's sakes, let's get away from Harvey while there's still a chance.
All right. Give me the gun.
Here.
Now, you keep in front of me all the time. And I'm warning you. If you make one false move, I'll kill you in cold blood.
You see, Harvey and Laura were lying to us. The bridge is still down.
You're right. They couldn't have come across that bridge.
Of course not. The only trouble is, we can't get back over it now either.
We've got to get away, Doctor, now, before we're seen.
What about that house at the other end of the island?
People are away.
But they might have a boat.
Yes, of course they do have a boat. We can row to the mainland. Come on, quick.
All right.
I have a feeling we're being followed.
It's your imagination. Hurry, Geraldine. Hurry.
We are being followed, Doctor. Look behind us. There's a man with a dog.
Good heavens. It's just like the dog you owned. The one that died in the fire.
Yes. And the man... It's Dave.
We've lost them. Lost them in the woods.
They can't be far behind.
Doesn't matter now. The house is just ahead.
But the boat, Doctor. The boat's not at the landing.
It must be.
Well, it isn't. Can't you see it isn't?
Perhaps it's around and back.
No, that side of the house faces the road.
Then we'll have to break in, hide here until morning. Our best chance is to be inside, where we can protect ourselves. After all, you still have a gun.
But I hardly know how to use it.
Then give it to me.
No.
You still don't trust me, do you?
I don't know, Doctor. But I'm the one who's been threatened, so I really should have the gun.
Very well. Wait here. I'll break through the window and come around on the inside.
Did you hurt yourself?
No. I'm all right. Just wait there for me and I'll unlock the door.
Oh, hurry, Doctor, please. Hurry. They're on our trail again.
Come inside, Geraldine. Quickly. And lock the door behind you.
What's wrong, Doctor?
Nothing's wrong. We're in luck. There's a phone here. If it hasn't been disconnected. Hello. Hello, operator.
This isn't the operator. Tell Mrs. Reeves it's at 11 o'clock. She has 1 more hour to live.
11.
I won't leave this house. I'm not going to run away any longer. If they're going to kill me, let them come here and do it. Only for heaven's sakes, why don't they do it right away? Why don't they come here and get it over with instead of waiting until 12 o'clock?
Geraldine, please.
Well, I can't stand it any longer. I'd rather die than go through any more of this torture. I just...
Sit down for a moment. Relax. And try to ease your mind.
Oh, for... Dr. Prizing, what are you doing?
Playing the piano. I thought it might relax you.
But that melody... You! You're the one I hear at night, playing David's music. Playing it right here in this house.
Yes, Geraldine. I've rented this house to protect you from David and the dog.
Well, stop it! Stop playing that piece! Stop it!
You didn't know that David would come back to life. Did you, Geraldine?
Now stay where you are.
Don't be afraid. I won't harm you. As long as you have that gun. But the gun won't stop David.
David's dead.
Is he? Listen. He's right outside the door. And in a moment, he'll be here to take you with him.
No!
Yes, Geraldine. I've come back to see you. In spite of everything you've done.
Stop!
You killed me, didn't you, darling? You started that fire because you knew I was too much of an invalid to get out of bed.
Stay where you are!
You hated me, Geraldine.
Stop!
No. Your bullets can't harm me now. Nothing you can do can harm me. Because I'm dead and you're still alive.
Oh, David. David, forgive me. I didn't know what I was doing that night. Please believe me. I was sorry as soon as I'd started that fire, but it was too late then. I couldn't put it out. I couldn't.
How dare you ask my forgiveness when you're still lying?
But I'm not lying. I'm not. I told you everything.
Why didn't you tell the police?
Because I wanted to live.
You'll confess everything now?
Oh, yes, David. Yes, I will. If you'll only leave me alone, please. Please. It was my cigarette case Laura found in the water. I'd thrown it over the bridge that same night after I took it out of the fire.
Well, I guess that's all we need, Harvey. A full confession with 2 witnesses.
Harvey!
Yes, Geraldine. I do look like my brother in this dim light. And the dog Laura's holding outside is the same breed as the one you own.
Laura! Laura! Did you say Laura was alive?
Very much so, Geraldine. Wasn't hard for me to pretend being dead. With the doctor keeping you away from my body.
Then you were all in this together. You forced